Hey, how's it going? Justin right here. It is Thursday, May 11th at about 1 p.m. And I'm here to go over with some UFC news about UFC 211 and some other stuff like the GSP and Bisping fight being off, Henry Cejudo, Sergio Pettis being off, new women's 125-pound division, and other stuff like that, Cormier Jones, all of those things. So, yeah, let's just get started. First thing first, any of you hockey fans out there, let's go Ducks. We just won Game 7. Breaking history for the first time in 5 years. We've always lost Game 7. We've always gone into the series 3-2 up and then lost the two games in the same spot in the playoff bracket. Every single year we've lost, but this time finally we won. Got out of it, thank God. Let's go Ducks. And playing the Nashville Predators, which is a beast of a team, for the Western Conference Finals. So we'll see. Let's hope that goes good. But anyways, here we go. GSP and Bisping is off, according to Dana. Luke Thomas tweeted out that he doesn't know if people should believe this 100% or not. Might be some sort of negotiation tactic, but it seems like it might be off. I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, obviously we know as much as we do, but yeah, Yoel Romero's manager is going on Luke Thomas's show in about half an hour on XM at about 1:30 on Thursday. So we'll hear from them. I think they're going to make that Yoel Romero Michael Bisping fight. I know Michael Bisping is nursing a knee injury right now from his podcast, so it looked like he was kind of looking forward to maybe having some time off to fight GSP in October. But so I don't know if they'll make that July fight. That would be really cool if they put it on 214, the one in Anaheim, because that's really close to where just GSP lives. That'll give him a little more time, aside from putting him on the July 8th card, the International Fight Week. That would be perfect, because I live in Southern California, and I have tickets to that fight. It's going to be the first one I go to. So let's hope that happens. Yoel Romero, I don't know. I like that matchup for GSP. I mean, for Bisping. If that does happen, that would be awesome to see live, because everyone thinks Yoel Romero is this beast, and he is. He's an incredible, monstrous beast, but he does get a little lackadaisical out there, and I think BSB has the footwork, the speed, and to point him up. He might get cracked once or twice, like in the Henderson fight, but I think he can pull it off against Yoel Romero, and that people will know how good Michael Bisping actually is, and just how mentally strong he is. No matter what, he's gone down and up, lost number one contender fights all the time, so he's been through this, and that guy isn't mentally weak at all. So that would be cool if that actually happens. I'm glad the GSP fight is off, to be honest. I'm with Luke Thomas on this thing. It shouldn't have been made in the first place. And if it was, it should have been 100%. They should have announced it with a date in line a couple months ahead of time, max, like end of summer, July, August, something like that. They should have had a set date and known when. But all this going back and forth, trying to figure out the date, and then GSP coming out and saying after October and not giving us a reason why. It's just a mess. So I'm glad. Hopefully it's off. We'll see if it is actually off. But sucks for Bisping. He's not getting a payday. But if it goes how I think it's going to go, he beats Yoel Romero, and then who knows what fight he can get. I mean, it'll be cool if he can get that back. So yeah. And because of that, so the middleweights were up in arms before about it. Luke Rockhold on the MMA Hour, just frustrated with everything. I don't know. I'm at the point where people complain too much. I mean, I think it's good to voice your opinion out there if you're frustrated. I think this is the time that UFC isn't going to respond like they did before. I mean, you see middleweight. I mean, who's a lightweight who just beat Diego Sanchez. God, terrible with names. That's ridiculous. New York guy. What the heck? Yeah, but anyways, that New York kid that you see. Yeah. What the hell? Really? Come on, come up, come up, come up. Iaquinta, Al Iaquinta. It's freaking ridiculous. Anyways, um, yeah, him on Twitter just going after the UFC and Dana White and just calling him cowards and like threatening, telling him to cut him and all of this trash, and they haven't responded to him at all. And a lot of fighters coming out, Anderson Silva coming out against the UFC. I mean, the UFC didn't call their bluff, but a lot of people are speaking out against the UFC, and it's very, very interesting watching all this go down and not any really ramifications coming from it. At least what we know. I mean, it is pretty soon, but I know Luke Rockhold's coming out and voicing his opinion. Yoel Romero is coming out voicing his opinion, and I don't know. I would like to see Michael Bisping fight Robert Whitaker, but that's just my preference, personal preference. But um, I don't know. But anyways, so yeah, the middleweights finally get what they asked for, and hopefully we can get this middleweight division, keep it going, and GSP just doesn't wait a year after he announces that he wants to fight. And it might not be under his control, it might be USADA, but it seemed like that would have been taken care of a while ago, for that 3 month or 4 month testing period where, yeah, you're coming out of retirement. You think that would have been taken care of a while ago, but who knows? Okay. So, in other news, I don't think anything new came out with it. We don't know, but Henry Cejudo and Sergio Pettis is out. Uh, no one knows 100% why. All we saw was when Henry Cejudo and Sergio Pettis had their face-off. Henry Cejudo did not look good. He looked drawn out. He looked unhealthy. I mean, that's kind of how he normally looks. He always has tough weight cuts when it comes to his fights. But man, I mean, all respect to fighters. That is incredible what they have to go through. But Henry Cejudo he blows up in the off season. I mean, just watching the Ultimate Fighter with him and Joseph Benavidez, he was big. He was big, buddy. He was he was definitely full. He was getting his full meals in, and all power to him. I mean, if he wants that, that's fine. But taking those weight cuts and missing weight before, I mean, either you have to be always on that diet and maybe have some cheat meals all the weekend or something like that and keep the weight down, or maybe you have to move up to 135. I mean, we saw other fighters do it moving up and they look incredible. So um like Masvidal moving up, Donald Cerrone. Aside from Masvidal, that's just him taking too many fights. But Kellen Gastelum, of course, the flyweight who moved up to John Dodson moved up. He looks incredible. So I don't know. I don't think it would be a bad move. I think he'd have a lot of good matchups at 135. Ooh, think of Henry Cejudo, T.J. Dillashaw, Henry Cejudo, Dominic Cruz. Would be some really, really good matchups. So he might be, but he's a top wrestler, and I don't think size would make that big of a difference. And his stand-up looks good. Those would be some good matchups. I don't know. That's just my opinion. A lot of fighters are doing it. He doesn't have to make that big of a weight cut. He might have a lot more energy going in there, feel a lot better. I don't know. Maybe 135 might be his chance. But then taking place of that going in the main card is David Branch versus Jocko. I covered. I did a whole UFC 211 cover of all the fighters going in there, and for some reason I just skipped on David Branch. I heard about him. I thought he was just a short notice guy. I didn't know much about him, but then looking more into it, he's a huge prospect coming out of World Series of Fighting, and I just watched his recent fight with I don't know if it was recent, but one of them on World Series Fighting, and that guy's fast. He looks really strong, really fast, all around, really, really explosive guy, and I think that's a great card to get moved on, or a great fight to get moved on to the main card. So, yeah, that should be a really, really good matchup. A lot closer than I thought it would be. Yeah, that'll be a really, really fun fight. And then also, UFC finally announced with the new Ultimate Fighter, they're going to be introducing a new 125-pound weight division for the women. Freaking finally. Took you guys freaking long enough. Yeah, it took them long enough to do that. Valerie Letourneau, oh, that's such a shame that she went to Bellator right before they did this for her. Like, that's such a shame. Man, she had to go through those nasty weight cuts. I mean, hearing her on, forgot what show it was, but Valerie Letourneau, what show was he on? She on, was it the MMA Hour? I don't know, talking about how horrible weight cuts were, and she would be passing out in the bathtub and not remembering stuff at all and being completely drawn out. And she says it took a toll on her. It really did throughout her fights. And that was a close fight between her and Joanna. Not like close, but I mean, it was competitive at points. And who knows if they fought at 125, how much better she would feel. But I don't know, this is really good. Finally, dude, they're doing this so they don't have to make drastic weight cuts anymore. Like people that are in betweeners. Joanna, Joan Calderwood. She'll fight there. Jessica Pena will fight there. JJ Yona Jacek said she'll move up. I don't know. This is a really really good idea. Better than the 145 division that has 3 people, I think, right now. One of them, we have no idea where she is. Yeah, Holly Holm fighting. Yeah, Jeraine Durandamy. We have no idea where Jeraine Durandamy went after maybe she got hand surgery that took a couple months to go through, and she could after she got scared from Cyborg. But yeah, I don't know. That will be that's really cool. I think they should make more to weight divisions. The California State Athletic Commission, the leader of him, I forgot the guy's name, but he has a lot of ideas about weight cutting rules and introducing new weight classes for the men's divisions, taking out the 170-pound division and putting in 65, 75, 95, and 225. Oh, that would be incredible. So we can see more champions out there, more competitive fights, and people that are in betweeners, like Masvidal, Donald Cerrone, could find a sweet spot like 165. That's good, and then Tyron Woodley can go up to 175, and all those guys you can. And 155 is already stacked. Some of them moving up to 165 don't have to cut as much. That would make lightweight a lot more interesting. And then going up to 165, finding a new champion there. Then, if Conor ever comes back, he can fight for the 165-pound belt. And then fight. Imagine he has 4 championships. That would be. Yeah, the world would probably explode. So yeah, so the women's 125-pound division, that's gonna be awesome. Gonna watch that. I don't know, the Ultimate Fighter is okay, but I think that'll be pretty interesting to see that going there. And then also really quick, there's this this article going around, this video going around of this Tai Chi master in China finding this guy that represents MMA supposedly, and he just beat this older guy down that had no problems of being there. The fight lasted 20 seconds. And it just looked like a bully beatdown. It just looked like a fight on the street. There was no gloves. The referee wasn't. Oh god, it was just dumb. Like he was trying to prove that Tai Chi isn't a real martial art. You don't. If you get like a jiu-jitsu guy in with a boxer and you try to have him fight a boxer, of course he's gonna get demolished. Like, not saying Tai Chi is the same as jiu-jitsu. It's just Tai Chi is it's like yoga. It's a great way for older people to get in shape, and yeah, China has all this history for it, and I understand, but there could have been a better way to prove that it's not actual martial art that's like competitive in MMA. It just wasn't right. Like the guy just kept punching him in the face on the ground. The referee didn't even stop it, and it just wasn't a good look. It just wasn't a good look. You could have proved it a way better way of just showing. I don't know. It could have been a way better way to approach it, but doing that bully beatdown is just ridiculous. We all know Tai Chi is just, it's cute. It's not real martial. A lot of people know that, but why do you have to prove it that way? I don't know. There's a really bad way to go about it. And then also, Cormier and Jones set for UFC 214. It's the rumors going around, but Cormier on Twitter and everything says that Jones hasn't signed the contract yet, and they're going back and forth there. Him saying like, "Come on, man, hurry up!" and "What are you scared of?" Daniel Cormier going to John Jones, and John Jones responding at his barber's, and his barber's talking crap to him. Like, I don't know. John Jones he's strange to me, but I don't know. And he's calling himself the real champ, and I I side with Chael Sonnen on this. If you don't make the if you don't make it into the if you don't make it into the cage after you sign up for the fight, you should lose the fight. That should be an L on your record. You didn't make it into the. I mean, obviously, there should be some cases in between where that doesn't always happen. Being caught by USADA for some dumb reason, one or the other for marijuana or something like that. Maybe little things like that shouldn't count as an L, but not making weight like Henry Cejudo, I think that should be a loss on his record. It's only fair to Sergio Pettis, who's done all of that training this whole time, put in all his money. He should get the win and the win bonus and all of that purse that Henry Cejudo should have gotten. I mean, it was his fault that he didn't make the weight that he said he was going to make. I mean, that makes perfect sense to me. It's not fair to the other guy. So I don't know. I think John Jones saying himself as a real champion. I think that's bullshit. I mean, we all know he's the best, but he got caught plenty of times. He ran into a pregnant chick into a car, got suspended. That's his fault. That's his fault. He couldn't make it into the cage. You have to make it into the cage if you want to be champion. That's just it. And he fucked up going to fight Daniel Cormier, taking dick pills beforehand, not even knowing what the hell they are. You need to be better than that. You didn't make the cage. That should be a loss on his record. That's it. That's all it should be. And he's not the real champion. Daniel Cormier is the real champion. And that's it. That's all it is. All this hate that Daniel Cormier gets for not being the real champ, paper champ, is bullshit. He's gone in there and defended the belt plenty of times. He's done his work. And John Jones he's a really good fighter. He's amazing. And no one's perfect, you know what I mean? But I don't know, man. He's saying he's the real champ. It's just, it doesn't make sense. So, So that's pretty much it for now. There's a couple little things, but one last thing I wanted to make a statement before I take off. I see other people in MMA media. I mean, I'm obviously nothing. Probably a couple of you probably view this video all the way through. Maybe some of you will see it and be like, "Who is this weird guy with the beard and this black hat?" And I don't know, connected to his whatever. But so I'm not. I'm probably have like maybe 10, 20 views on this. So I don't even care. But my point is, I see other people in MMA media that have that actually have points out there, that have actually people viewing them and have a voice out there and have a point to make a message, and they don't do their research. They don't do anything. They say ridiculous statements that could completely opposite or completely imbecile. Like, I won't point out the actual name, but it's this legitimate company that hosts a couple different podcasts, and they were talking about all of the fights that are going on this weekend, and this guy had the audacity to say that Rodriguez in the fight has everything to lose, and Edgar is quote-unquote whatever. What the hell are you talking about, bro? Rodriguez has everything to lose. He's 25 years old. He's the one that called out Edgar. He wanted this fight because he knows if he wins this fight and makes a statement, it'll skyrocket him to the front. And if he loses, okay, he's a 25-year-old guy who lost the number 2 guy in the world. Whoop-de-doo. In MMA, you can always come back from a loss and then come back, win a fight or two, and you're up there again. Like, he has nothing to lose from this. What the heck are you talking about? Edgar has everything to lose. He has the name out there that he's the best. He's never been knocked out. He has all these things with him. He's in a war. He'll last, and he's technically sound. And he has this monster of this 5'11", super fast, explosive guy. He's never fought anyone like this. I mean, Benson Henderson, yeah, he's not athletic. He's not this fast. I mean, he's a technical beast, but, I mean, Jose Aldo, I mean, he's really fast and has leg kicks, but nothing like Yair Rodriguez and the size and the reach that Yair Rodriguez has. So this is a scary fight for Edgar, and in my opinion, I think he has everything to lose. But my point is, this guy saying these things and not going into depth with it, just saying it out there, it's ridiculous. It's imbecile, and it sucks that they have people like that have voices, and other people. Other nobodies, probably a lot of people out there, a lot of people way better than me that know more than me, that actually train or go out there and they don't have a voice. Because, I don't know, it just sucks to me. And also, on that same podcast, they were talking about how the UFC is trying to get rid of Maia or Masvidal, and that's why they put themselves against each other and made that fight. I mean, that might be kind of true with Maia, but Masvidal, he asked for the fight. He asked for the Maia fight. They're not trying to get rid of Masvidal at all. Like, it's Masvidal asked for Maia, and no one else would call out Maia. And Maia even explained to Tyron Woodley, saying it was ridiculous. Maia says, like, they don't know why I took this fight, and Tyron Woodley needs to figure out his shit and what he actually wants to come out with. Like, no one knows exactly why Maia took his fight. Maia even said that, but if people actually do research, then people understand that they make their own decisions. They could have turned down this fight. No one was asking for it. Maia had a complete 100% road to the title. 100%. He took this fight a week before they made Tyron Woodley Stephen Thompson 2. A week before that. Like, he knew what he was doing. He maybe sees something in Masvidal that, like, I don't know, maybe he thought he wasn't ready for the fight, or who knows. He hasn't come out with it, and just the audacity of someone saying, I don't know, not doing the research and looking what Maia and Masvidal, why they're taking these fights, or what we know, that's just ridiculous. And also, one big thing too is I'm not into training. I don't know much technique or anything, but these people saying that Jessica Andrade quote unquote fades in her fights. Okay, let's go to fight metric. We know she fights at a high pace, and yeah, she hasn't fought any 5-round fights, but just at her fight against Angela Hill right here, in the whole entire fight, she threw 342 strikes in a 15-minute fight, landing 148. That's about 40% landed or so, 42%, which isn't that good. But I mean, with her, but she's all about pressure and stuff like that. So, but she threw in her last round. She threw 139 punches and landed 59 of them. 139 in one round. Like, I did the statistics and everything, throwing 300. I mean, and she throws heavy punches. She throws in combinations. She doesn't. She's really, really high paced and through the whole 3 rounds, and she hits a punch about one every 2.7 seconds. Like, are you kidding me? Like, she does the opposite of fading. Like, she pushes the pace the whole time. She, even in the 3rd round or the last round where you think she's gonna fade, she threw the most punches out of all 3 rounds. She threw almost doubled in the 2nd round. Like, and that's just the one fight. Also, her other fight with Joanne Calderwood, she put on, I think, even higher percentage. Against Penne. Yeah, she did a similar thing. She threw 205 punches, and this fight ended at round 2, with 2 minutes and 56 seconds down. She threw 57 punches in the first round, and then it ended in 3 minutes. She threw 34 punches. Or, yeah, those are significant strikes. No, Andrade. Yeah, never mind. No, she threw 107 strikes in the first round, and then 98 strikes before it ended in round 2. She was on pace to throwing almost 130 punches. Like, what are they talking about? She loses. I don't know, but so I mean, just these. My point is, people in MMA that have these platforms where they can actually speak out and actually give people information, like me, who love all this stuff, who love looking into percentage. I'm learning every single day. Is they need to do the research and actually know what the heck they're talking about, instead of saying shit out of their ass and just giving people the wrong information where they're just gonna believe what they hear. And it's, I don't know. So it's no disrespect to people. I know this is just fun to people, and they're talking shit and just laughing. That's fine. But I don't know. I would just take it a little more seriously, especially if you have a platform that people can listen to. I would just say, do your research and actually back up what you say. And yeah. Have a good one, you guys. Thanks for listening, and enjoy the fights this weekend.